Gonna show it right here.
You would know all about this.
Well, I had the videotapes when I was a kid, man. I used to love that.
This looks terrible.
I mean,
awful.
Like
Just awful.
Trash.
I mean, it is now. You know what I'm saying? But it was really good back then. But anyway,
I wish you guys could just see their big old fat bodies just gyrating around on the screen doing the freestyle rap.
But here's the deal. Hang on.
So excited to show us that, man. And that was so bad.
Hang on. Welcome to the 4 Plot Podcast, everybody. We are here today on episode... I don't even know what number episode this is, to be honest with you.
35.
35?
Episode 35 of the 4 Plot Podcast.
Yeah, sure, 35. That sounds like a good number to say. Hey, I am Will. We are here with Trevor.
Shia.
And Mike.
What's up, guys?
Dude, that Shia. I don't even really know what
Beyonce likes cheddar.
Oh, it's a Jay-Z
Yeah,
impression.
it's a really bad Jay-Z impression.
Okay. To attest to your really bad Jay-Z impression, I didn't realize it was a Jay-Z impression until this moment right here.
That's how you know it's good, man.
That's now or bad. Welcome to the 4 Plot Podcast. We got a lot to cover today. We got 3 guys around the table, which I'm excited about. It's a little bit relaxed. It's a little bit chill.
The 3 Musketeers.
The 3 Musketeers that I'm not going to try to...
Finally, I get more time.
Yeah, finally.
Nobody's hogging
This is
it
your
from
moment.
me.
This is your moment, Mike.
Today, Mike's going to host the entire podcast. All right.
It's going to be very negative.
The whole time. We're going to come from a really dark place today, all right?
You have Will, who's, I feel like, right in the middle, and then you have Yin and Yang on
really
either
do.
side of the table, Trevor and Mike. Yeah.
You really do. You really do. Which should make for a great podcast today. We're going to cover a few topics today. First off, we're just going to jump right into some of the new games that have come out recently. Let's start with Apex Legends. We talked about it in our last podcast. We had speculations because of what it was going to be, what it could be. It was not out yet. Now it is fully released. It's out there. We've all had a chance to play it. I know we all have different opinions on the game. So let's just start talking right away about Apex Legends. What did you think? Going to start with Mike. What did you think about Apex Legends and what you played of it so far?
I've really enjoyed it. Last time we were talking about it, I was pretty clear that I'm not a huge fan of Battle Royale games, but I think that because it's so well polished and because you can kind of just jump into the action, it doesn't feel as open as PUBG where like you could wander for 10 minutes before you find someone. The fact that you're able to just jump in, kind of get going is really nice. And I mean, it's so polished. I like Titanfall, so it works really well for me. I don't like the cartoonish nature of Fortnite. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I really think it's pretty impressive how they've been able to take so much attention from Fortnite and from the Black Ops, blackout mode. I think it's great. It's a great success.
All right. Trevor, listen, I just know right now your opinion's going to wow. This just heads up for everybody listening. We've been all playing Apex Legends and having a great time. I don't want to steal his thunder, but Trevor, we're like, hey, man, you play Apex Legends tonight? It's going to be a good time. Trevor's like, nope, sorry, guys. Already uninstalled the game. Not only is he like, no, I'm not playing, uninstalled the game from his hard drive.
Before we got to play with him.
Before we ever got to play with you. We didn't even get to play with you, so tell us why.
Fun story. Yeah, up super late. You guys were probably asleep because you're responsible adults.
Not us.
I was up super late playing with a good buddy of ours on Xbox, and it had just installed. It was the day it came out, or the day after, and so I said, let me give this thing a try. I'm not a big Battle Royale fan, but let me just give this thing a try because I love Titanfall,
right?
And it seems to be getting a great reception. So fired it up. We played 3 matches. And they all lasted about the same exact amount of time, 8 or 9 minutes. I actually killed 2 people before anything bad happened to me, which was a rush. I'm not gonna lie.
Stop. You killed 2 people in the game on your first game?
I did. First game, killed 2 people.
I'm not. That's not my story.
So I feel like I was doing pretty well. We sort of found a spot to hide, and we were there for about 11 or 13, 15, 28 minutes. Then someone snuck up on us and killed us instantly.
Yeah, and the hiding is not fun.
No, yeah,
it's smart, but it's not fun.
Right.
If you want to get the loot drops and you want to get the level ups and stuff like that, hiding is a better idea because you get more points. Based off of in battle royale games, I feel like regardless, you have 2 choices. You can be a coward, right, and you can hide and you can try to get the points that way, or you can be aggressive if you're good enough and kill people and get the points that way, or you're that sad in between where you're like, oh, I'm going to kill people for points, and you die immediately. At which point it's a terrible.
And I think
experience.
for me, and I think I was describing this the other day to one of you guys, but for me, like I am totally fine being absolute trash at a game if I like the gameplay, if I like the setting, if I like the lore, even like, you know, you guys know me, I'm a big story based guy. Like even if I'm not really good at a game at all, I can sort of like power through if I like something else about the game like a lot.
Right.
With this, it's just tough for me because I think it's masterfully. This is a masterful game. I have to say, like my biggest thing that I want to say about Apex, even if I never played again, bravo to this studio for bringing a game out literally like out of nowhere. Like, hey, we got a new game. Like it was almost like guerrilla. I wonder if they planted leaks about this game.
Oh, hands down.
Like I think they did a phenomenal job marketing it. It's like, oh, by the way, this game we made it and it's available now. And it's like, go play it. Here it is. And then it doesn't have any bugs to like really to speak of unless I'm missing something.
No, I mean it's
so there was no like day one patch. It was like, hey, here's this new battle royale game, and all of a sudden like it's all people can talk about.
I feel like
bravo. I really have to hand it to him for that.
Two things. I feel like number one, they definitely did the whole purposeful leak thing, just to get press out there for it. Because I know IGN, Giant Bombcast, a few of the other people I've listened to, they actually went ahead and they did play. They had to sign non-disclosure agreements and all that kind of stuff, so they wouldn't, leak it themselves. But I will disagree with you though. Like I really like the game. I do. I feel like I'm no good at it. I'm complete garbage at it. But I've gotten. I think it surprised me. You get 2 kills your first time playing. I think I've played just about 24 matches now, and I have not gotten. I rarely get kills.
The gunplay is phenomenal.
It's
awesome.
awesome.
I feel like the snappiness of the ADS, everything.
So what do you not like? Though?
I don't like waiting. Just hoping to get to the end and like you just may not win. Like for me, I think I'm probably spoiled by games like Overwatch with like a really really fast respawn timer where you just like are always in the action and you're always fighting people and like sort of over the span of the game you get this many kills and you have this many deaths and hopefully your KD ratios. Like I just like being in the action the entire time and I like to feel like I'm contributing to the team. Like if I'm playing an entire match of a battle royale game and we get to we've hid the whole time and I don't have any kills and we're like third because somebody sneaks up on you. Like to me, that's just not fun. I prefer to play games while I'm playing them.
I was joking around about like, man, it'd be really fun if they had a battle royale where you could respawn and like every other shooter,
like every other game, right?
Yeah.
But to be honest, I definitely agree with you, Trev. I mean, that makes sense that there is a lot of waiting, and I like the randomness. That's the fun part to me. It's like you never know what you're going to get.
Awesome map too, by the way.
Map is beautiful.
Yeah, map is great. Yeah,
you can start anywhere. That's really cool. But the fact that you never know, you might land next to somebody that kills you instantly. Like that's not the fun part. I like the randomness of the gear, but I'd agree that it is that weird mix of strategy between standing around and trying to hide versus going balls to the wall and dying.
And there's a piece of it that I feel like for me, I don't mind the hiding so much and like the kind of sneaking around because for me my thing is not about getting kills in that game. It's really more about surviving. So for me, it's one of those
You've always been the type of guy though that sort of relishes that objective.
Oh
based,
yeah. When we play Halo, I love capture the flag.
Yeah, and even if you have no kills at the end, but you have 2 flag caps, like you're happy.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I like Apex Legends for many of the reasons that you guys don't like it. I mean, I feel like it's a much you want to talk about a quicker game. Apex Legends is a much faster battle royale game than I feel like any other battle royale game I've played. There's a few great things about this game, and I know everybody knows this already. We covered it in our 60-second review, but just to run it down, like I feel like number one, the jump master mechanic is fantastic. That is
you did a great job on that 60-second review, by the way.
Thank you very much. The hero mechanic is fantastic. I feel like picking a character like I play a lot as oh god, now I'm not even gonna be able to remember his name. The guy, the hunter, the beast mode guy,
Bloodhound.
That's my stalling.
Trevor, the guy who uninstalled the game instantly.
Right, Bloodhound.
He'd already read all the lore, though.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, but the deal is like I enjoy playing as him. I love the hero character aspect. I love the jump master aspect. It plays that music when you jump. You got the little trail behind you.
So nice.
It's awesome. The weapons are fantastic. The loot system is fantastic. Where it's like, hey, you don't need this. You've already got a better thing of this. You can pull up your small inventory map. I mean, your inventory screen. It shows you like, oh, you don't. It has a big black, red X over like you don't need shotgun ammo because you don't have a shotgun. You can drop it.
And I also feel like the drops are a little bit more frequent than like a PUBG. Like you find guns quicker more often?
I'd say there's more guns. It does
Yeah.
seem like it, but it
Yeah.
could also be that
Less
everything-
brown shoes, more
Yeah,
guns.
Everything's the map is more compact, but
Yes.
dude, it's crazy how popular this game has been the last couple weeks
Yeah.
over Fortnite.
Yeah.
I mean, you see Epic Games kind of scrambling to keep their people.
And I feel like they've hit a
Looking to push that season 2 button, man.
yeah, exactly. They've hit a really good. I mean, I feel like they've hit a really good stride and a really good place in the battle royale thing because it is quicker than most battle royale games. My matches do, for better or for worse, whatever that may be, they do end a lot quicker. I feel like there's a little bit more challenge to it because of the hero stuff. I thought it was a great game. I enjoy playing it. It's not something I jump into like when I'm sitting around the house, like, oh man, let me play some Apex Legends. But
I feel like the hero powers are balanced. I mean, I feel like Wraith kind of sticks out a little bit as sort of like an OP character.
Really?
Yeah, from just the time I played,
I
I got
can't-
killed by a Wraith all 3
I
matches.
can't figure
so.
out her portal system. I feel like when I
The
really
people who have
it's
are
good,
nasty.
because the
Yeah.
deal is like I heard I had some coworkers that I talked to where they were talking about how they would set up my coworkers Joe and Mike, little shout out, they listen to the podcast all the time. Joe and Mike were talking about how they would set up a portal and down in like a very high loot area kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they'd set up the other portal like way back on like a sniper ridge, and so as soon as people started shooting at them, they'd enter the portal, come up behind them, and like start taking.
Dude,
them
I've
out.
seen clips of people putting one end of the portal right in front of a waterfall, like a big drop, and they'll have people chase them and then drop the other portal so that it shoots them off and then they're in the clear. It's fun because there's no fall damage in the game, so it won't kill them. But it might put them so far down off of the ledge that they can't get up fast enough if the circle's encroaching.
People have also used it for because like you said, Mike, you can revive people in this game. People have also used it to run to their people, right? Run to your down character, pop a wraith portal, run back to a safe area, pop another one, and then your player can crawl into it, portals you to them,
Very
portals
clever.
them to you, so you can heal them.
That sounds like the stuff that people that are good at the game do.
Right, not us. Yeah, my portals are usually set up at least 3 feet apart from each other. So it's like when you enter, you're like, oh, I'm just in the same place and I'm dead. Like that's usually how it happens.
That's thinking with portals.
Right. Although I do have a really sweet clip. Speaking of Wraith, I have a really nice clip on my Xbox Live, like record that, whatever, where I just took a shot in the dark where all my teammates got downed and Wraith comes out and she's like firing everybody up. And I had no guns because I dropped in like a heavy zone and people had already picked everything up. And and I just run and I just like punch her right in the face and it downs her. And she's like the last person in the squad. So it wiped out the whole squad from like one punch, which I
That's
was very
awesome.
I was very proud of. Yeah. I mean,
Did you clip that?
I did clip that, and
You should share that on the page.
I will. It shows no skill whatsoever, but it was just
Still
on now.
impressive to me.
Yeah,
made me feel
that's
good.
impressive.
So you, not a fan of Apex. Me and Mike, fan of Apex. I'm gonna go.
I
against-
like everything about Apex except for playing it.
You got to play. Okay, that makes sense. You got to play with us. Just install it once more and play with
I
us
sure
one more
will.
time. Now, I will tell you, I'm going to go against the grain on this next one because the next game we're going to talk about, everybody seemed to love, and I haven't even disclosed this to you guys. I did not like it. And that was the Anthem demo, man. I was not a fan.
Oh, no.
I was not a fan of Anthem, only because it felt very, probably because I just got bad taste in my mouth. It felt very Destiny, okay, which I already am kind of on the fence about because
Sure.
of like the loot system and like the kind of the aimless, like, oh, I can, I'll get on that later. But number two, very Mass Effect as well, kind of smashed together, which you think would be a good thing. But I have bad memories of Andromeda as well, where I'm kind of
Sure.
like, and there were moments where I'll let you guys talk about it. I didn't Anthem's. If we're going to make the transition to Anthem here, I didn't like Anthem that much. I felt like the flying mechanic was done very well. I feel like the flying mechanic
so
is just
good.
butter. Like I thought it was so cool to be able to like pop your jets and fly around.
You were getting those Turbo Man feels, man.
It's turbo time.
Yeah, those Rocketeer feels, man.
Yeah, man, and it feels really good. The flying mechanic is awesome. It really is. Like that for me is what sets it apart. Now, granted, I didn't get deep enough in it to get the storm suit and everything else like that.
Yeah.
But the combat for me, man, was just so monotonous. I was like, oh, look.
Interesting.
Dude, I mean, I would agree. I will say I had some fun with the beta, or the demo.
Yeah.
I got the storm right away because I had started the demo for the closed beta. Somehow I got into it, and so it let me play the storm right away. So I
Senpai
started that.
looked favorably upon
Yes,
you, man.
Which
exactly.
that was only an Xbox thing, by the way. So IGN's podcast and a lot covered that last week, where it's like they did the same thing. They were able to get into the pre-order, but that was only on Xbox that people were able to do that, which is unique. You may start.
So the second mission, there was that big like tank looking boss thing that you had to fight, and I had a lot of fun. Me and Matt played it on hard. It was challenging. Like I enjoyed flying around. The flying through the world is very, very nice.
Yes,
but I feel like the combat, and especially the flying during the combat, is done really poorly. Not poorly, but there's a huge missed opportunity because if you
learning curve,
not even that. So if you're able to fly, like in combat. Right. I never flew around. What I would do is I would float or I would be on the ground. But
you played Storm most of the time, right?
Storm and a little bit of the
Ranger,
Ranger as well. But I mean, and obviously Storm floats. But you have all this awesome flying mechanics. There's no kind of aerial combat. There's no reason to move in midair outside of like your dodge. It just feels like it's a missed opportunity because what's the only unique thing so far about Anthem? It's the flying.
You can fly.
It's just the flying.
Is really it.
And I feel like they didn't utilize it to the extent where they could have. So that's the only thing is I feel like there's a lot of it's just kind of ho-hum for me right now.
You know, I have not thought about it like that, but you're exactly right. Not to keep, dumping on Anthem because there's a lot of great things about it. I mean, I feel like, I can't think of them at the moment, but I'm sure there's a lot of great things about
I mean, it looks beautiful. The combat is fun. Your abilities are really neat.
Right.
It just feels
it's Mass Effect with flying. It's kind of what it feels
All right, here comes the positivity train.
Okay, bring it
I hope
in.
you're ready
Inject
for
it.
it, man.
God, here we
Inject
go.
that positivity.
Also, the person who went back and played Andromeda after all of us quit after mission 1, we're like, I'm not.
Hey man,
I'm not,
I beat it, but I'm not.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, we should talk
back.
a little bit. By the way, we should talk a little bit about Andromeda because I'm really enjoying that game.
Andromeda is not,
Dude, I know.
I'll give you before Trevor does. I'll give you mine. Andromeda to me was fun. I enjoyed it. I played it right away before they fixed all the graphics issues, and it definitely had some bugs. It looked a little weird, little claymation faces.
Hey, my name's Ryder.
I've played one mission, like the one where like your commander gets, spoiler alert, like whatever happens in the.
It's your dad.
Oh, your
Daddy.
That shows how much I played this game.
Don't leave me so fast.
Wake up, Daddy.
I played that. I did not. I don't know what it was.
So let me finish. So I will say that right now I played through the entire thing. I don't think I could tell you anything about the story. Okay. So it was not necessarily, it didn't stick with me.
Right.
But you do have to remember that everybody compared it to the Mass Effect trilogy, which is 3 games that were amazing.
About Shepard. Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Right. We're
So
masterful.
I do think that if Mass Effect Andromeda had 3 full games to flesh out a story, it would be better. Like that's the thing is you're compared against one of the best. And it was always kind of a weirdly contrived reason to have the game where they just like sent a ship, 6,000 light years away or whatever. So, but no, it's fun. The combat was awesome. Like I thought they did an amazing job at the combat where you have your priming and your detonating. You can switch what abilities you use. You could add all these mods to the weapons to make them like shoot grenades and shoot all these, like really an interesting idea. It wasn't really given a fair shot in my opinion.
Yeah.
It got released a little too early and it just was going up against one of the greats. But I think it's a decent game. I don't know if it's $60 like right out the bat.
I mean
but
that's a great point because for me, I mean I think Mass Effect 1 I still believe. See, I came into Mass Effect on Mass Effect 2, which is a masterpiece.
It's an absolute masterpiece.
I love Mass Effect 2.
Yeah. It's hard to go back to the first one.
Oh God. Trevor asked me to go play the first one. He goes, "Oh, it's free on Xbox. You got to go play it." Or I mean, I may have bought it at that time.
Yep, I super enjoyed the first one, but
Oh,
it was
well,
worse back when it first came
oh
out.
my
I would
God,
say
I
that
didn't even get through the first mission.
You got to get through
It's
about
ugly.
2/3 of the game, the first one, before I really got into the story. That's the thing. So it didn't start off super hot.
But first one, you forgive because that was a first kind of its game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
There was nothing like that before
yes,
Mass
there was
Effect
a
came along.
big gap between the first and the second one versus the second and the third one.
Right.
So yeah.
But back to Anthem, maybe if I got into it more, I feel like flying around and fighting a big boss would be awesome. I feel like maybe I need to do that. The combat to me felt very Division-y, if that makes any sense. Like the Division where it's like, like Halo, right? You're fighting like here's
Everything's a bullet sponge type thing.
Well, here's one reason I didn't play Division is because like Division for me felt like I was like all these enemies look the same.
Yes,
they're all the exact like they all are bullet sponges. It felt very unrealistic to me in a weird way. You take a game like Halo, like yes, all the elites look the same, all the grunts look the same, but each kill is very like
It feels different.
You're satisfied.
It's
you know
hard.
what I'm saying?
It's hard to do that with a shooter. I think we don't give Destiny a lot of credit for having such well-designed and interesting enemies.
Raise my hand right now and just agree with you.
My
right
hand is
there.
physically in the air in a praise type motion to go. Yes, I will say that about Destiny. Their enemy that is all
praise the traveler.
God, that game plays
praise the
so
traveler.
well. I want to like it so much. It plays so well.
It does, man.
The traveler wills it.
You just expect more than it can deliver. I will say for Anthem, I would like to play it. I am going to wait a little bit.
Yes.
First of all, to make sure the bugs, because there were a lot of bugs. The game crashed a couple times. The graphics were popping in everywhere. So it definitely needs some
enemies
little bit
popping in way too late. Yeah, sure.
And I would just like to see what the end game looks like. Maybe wait for some DLC to come out because I'm sure they're going to crank that out. So for me, I mean, it's not that I don't hate the game. I'm just, after playing Destiny for 4 years or whatever, 3 years, I'm a little more cautious about these types of games. So please, Trev, overstate everything for me.
No, here it comes. So I hope you're ready for the rant of positivity and love that you're about to experience.
Please lay it on.
So I've got a little bit of a list of the reasons why. Here we go. All right, it's already started. Will is physically asleep on his computer right now. He's ruined the recording.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Classes in session.
No. So first of all, for me, I actually absolutely loved the combat. I felt like it was all the best feelings that I got playing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer with you guys.
Okay, I agree.
I felt like it felt a lot like Mass Effect multiplayer. Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. The what was that mode called? I can't even remember.
I know it was the only Mass Effect 3 multiplayer.
Yeah,
it was just called multiplayer.
And I think you're probably right.
No,
but it was like a horde mode. It was like 10 waves of enemies or whatever. And actually, Andromeda also had it, and we played that for a hot second.
I didn't like
on
it
Andromeda.
I didn't like it.
But I will say, it gave me a lot of those same feels, which I really, really enjoyed. It was just less clunky to me. It was a less clunky Mass Effect 3 multiplayer.
Smooth.
The feel of it. I really, really, obviously, flying around is just awesome and so fun. I thought the visuals, like you said, Mike, it's a beautiful game. It's really fun. I also think that it is beautiful in a different way. It's finally, I feel like a world that just looks different from the other sci-fi shooters that I've seen.
It's clear that they went super realistic to the point where a lot of computers even can't run it super well, but that's not a bad thing if they can optimize it and make it run a little better. The fact that it looks that good,
right?
Hopefully means that it will look really nice.
The whole weather system, I don't know what it is about just the ambience of the game. It just draws you in as soon as you start it up, and so even seeing when it rains, how it affects how your armor looks and all these different things, which leads me to my next point: the customization.
Oh God.
Oh. My word, it is just I was kid in a candy store, man. There's a color wheel, guys. There's a color wheel. We don't realize this because it's like we've been led into this false sense of security over and over and over again with games. Do you realize that we now believe that it's basically just from the heavens above? It's just a gift that has been given to us that we can pick whatever color we want. Think about that. That's a gift.
It is.
Because most games are no, we don't want you to have that much fun. You get almost black. you get steel.
Dude,
you get really dark gray. You don't get black.
Or you could do the Warframe thing where you have to buy color palettes.
Oh, that's the best. I love that they monetized colors in Warframe.
Can we talk about, as we talk about colors, can we talk about how the Halo game with the best colors was Halo 1. Halo 1 had the most colors, most customization. That's the only Halo you ever got true black.
Yes.
That was it.
Yes.
Every other Halo game was you could say steel or
dark gray.
Yeah, you could black out a Spartan.
But no, I really, really did love the customization. I think that they've even got the vinyls and different things like that. I'm definitely going to put the N7 vinyl on my character as soon as humanly possible.
Let me ask you, Trev, looking at it, because I thought it was a lot of stuff you could pick.
Yeah.
But I didn't quite like the design in the sense that it was just almost full one color. Now I know we didn't get to see all the gear. But if you could have changed the way it looks, let me know. Is there anything you would add or change about the?
I would say it sort of remains to be seen because there was only 2 armor types. There was sort of a primary and a variant that we got in the demo,
right?
And so there's 7 different options for primary, material. There's like, and then there's like 2 or 3 other ones that like affect the trim and different things like that on your armor. Sorry, nerding out super hard right now.
No,
I
no,
love
no, no,
customization.
that's awesome.
But like for me, like the ability to make my armor look like wet, like different types of weathered and dirty, to make it look like different materials. It can be like carbon fiber or leather or this type of, you know, metal. I think like that is just so cool. Also, one of the things I really liked about Mass Effect 3, where you could go to your ship and you could customize your Shepard's armor.
Yeah.
I think that was a really, really cool addition. So no, and then the last thing I'd say is there's a lot of narrative. I think there's a lot of narrative promise in this game,
Really?
because it's the same writers from Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, and Dragon Age Inquisition.
That may be true. When I saw them split old boy into 3 parts
yeah.
or whatever, I was like,
Yeah, it was a little cheesy. I agree. The demo,
little
it was
little cheesy.
I thought the character was voice acted very well.
See, I thought it was kind of hit or miss. I thought it started off really weak and it got better.
I would
the
agree.
character.
I remember-
When I first started, I
yeah.
was like, man, this guy's trying way
Dude,
too hard.
I text Mike when the first cutscene. I was like, dude, this voice acting is bad.
Really?
Now, when he split into 3, it got a little better, but that still was a cheesy thing.
Honestly,
for me.
as soon as that first interaction was done, I thought the voice acting was fine
Yeah.
after that. But it really felt like they were trying to make the character seem interesting, and it didn't feel natural. Now this
Came
is
across a little bit try hard, yeah.
now this is a demo. We get to see him for
Yes.
one little thing. You have no
Yes.
idea, and I guarantee you, there's going to be people that or characters that people like and ones they hate.
Yeah.
But I'm not sold yet on the story and the characers.
Right.
You just don't know. I just
I
don't
will
know
say
yet.
a quick shout out. There's a dude named My Name is Bife. And My Name is Biff. I'm not sure exactly how it's pronounced, but he's like a super, super famous guy on YouTube for Destiny lore stuff.
Okay.
Like if you really, really like Destiny and you're like, where's the story? Go to that guy's channel, and he has literally hours and hours and hours of videos like breaking down every last bit of like lore details with Destiny. Like watching that dude's videos, if you obviously have the time, which if you're not that super interested in Destiny, I would say as someone who really, really likes the gameplay of Destiny but misses the narrative,
Right.
like going to his page and watching some of that stuff really helped me get more into the game. And he actually he has done a few videos on like the lore, everything we know about the lore of Anthem. And after watching those videos and checking those out, I'm actually a lot more excited about it.
Okay.
I think there's potential. I just would like to know a little more. So yeah, I mean,
The premise of like the Shaper gods, and it's a world that's not, it's a world that humanity has inhabited, but that it was like left unfinished.
it is 100% the same as Mass Effect Andromeda. I clearly they were making the same game and then they split apart because
I don't see it that way.
Have you played all of Mass Effect Andromeda?
I played a couple missions.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's the same, but man, is it like the vaults that you go into on both games are very similar.
I've done it that much.
The whole ancient, all powerful deities that shaped everything.
I'll wrap this part up by saying
I'm
this.
excited about it.
That's fine. You buying it day one?
It's pre-ordered.
I'm not buying it day one.
Yeah, same with me. I want to buy it eventually, but I can't do it right away.
Well, I guess y'all not going to get to enjoy the Legion of Dawn armor.
No, guess not.
Nah, man, I'm gonna
That's
wait till it's on
unfortunate,
sale
man.
for $40 and they give it out for
Let me tell
free.
you what, I was so glad I got those exclusive Vanguard armor pieces from Destiny 1. I pre-ordered that.
Hey, don't you talk about that.
I didn't know how to get
Don't
those.
you talk about the Vanguard Arsenal pre-order for Destiny 1
Yeah.
that didn't exist.
That didn't exist. Okay,
The Destiny 2 one, they were useless after the first 5 hours of playing.
so was Destiny 1.
Yeah. Yay.
So Destiny 1, you had to figure out how to even get them. You're like, wait, how do I get this? And it was like a weird chop. Anyway, point is, speaking about another game that's gotten weird reviews this week, came out on Xbox Game Pass. So many marketing dollars were spent on this game. And IGN gave it a 5.0 and called it mediocre, as well as most of the rest of the world. Crackdown 3. All right.
Ouch.
Did you guys play Crackdown? Have you downloaded and played Crackdown yet from the Game Pass?
Mike pointed out earlier this week something I thought was very astute. A 5 from IGN is basically a 0. Like, I cannot remember the last time IGN gave a game less than 7.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
that's true. Really? IGN scale just starts at 5. Like, that's where it's at.
Got that logarithm curve. Yeah.
So,
I mean,
let's read IGN's exact words. Crackdown 3's mediocre collectible heavy campaign and poor Wrecking Zone multiplayer are rarely satisfying busy work.
Ouch.
Man. Okay.
they didn't even mention this game looks terrible.
Yeah, it's not a good.
Oh my gosh!
game.
Like it literally.
It looks like paper mache.
Yeah. It looks like a 360 game.
I'm gonna Google it real quick as we talk, just because I don't know the exact date of what was the original Crackdown release date. Because they delayed this game by like 2.
Yeah, I'm pretty
years.
sure it was
2005. It got
2005.
It got delayed a couple years, man.
Well,
it's unfortunate.
It's weird because, I mean, it's not weird. I
Even
guess,
just
but
the thumbnail literally looks like a PS2 game.
it looks
It's bad. Well, because they spent so much on announced in 2014. Oh my god!
Man, that's
it was set to
awful.
launch in November 2017. They come out to February 2019. And dude, it is like Mike and I. Now, granted, if you've played multiple hours of this game and you love it, that's fine. But Mike and I both said we played just a few hours of the game, just kind of getting into the very beginning of it. First of all, just the whole beginning story of how you lose all your powers, no spoilers if you want to go play it, is terrible. Like, it's awful. This game,
You fell into a big bucket of goo and
No.
lost
No, it's-
all your
no, it's a-
powers.
That's the Metroid
Yeah.
method of starting a game.
it
It's
is,
like,
dude. I'm talking about just a few problems that I've seen with Crackdown. Number one, it's just Crackdown 1. It's just the first Crackdown. Like, and that's something to talk about too. Like, what else do you do with the Crackdown series? Like, when the game first came out, I enjoyed picking up cars, throwing them, jumping over buildings. It's all excellent. You want something different by number 3, especially number 3 that was announced in 2014, supposed to come out in 2017, ends up coming out in 2019. You want something different. Played the first few missions, and I'm like, this is just Crackdown 1.
It's the same game.
I could literally put in Crackdown 1 and not have to deal with all the Terry Crews references. And you know what I'm saying? It's just like, that I didn't like it.
no, I mean, I was never a huge Crackdown fan. I don't really remember the first two all that much.
And I
people
was.
Yeah.
I was. I loved it.
I'm not saying that it should have, moved the world. Like it wasn't ever going to be the
Right.
best game ever. But man, Xbox could really use some good first party titles. And
Yeah, that's a
they
great point.
Have not had one in a while.
And it just stinks because you're like,
And Scalebound got canceled.
Yeah.
Which is
yeah,
really
and
sad.
Scalebound looked awesome.
It
I mean,
did.
Scalebound
Looked
looked great.
awesome.
And you look at Xbox and you go, okay, I get it. Crackdown, the name, the IP had a following already, so you really put a lot of marketing dollars into it. You went with Terry Crews. He did the whole, like,
Super muscular space cop.
right. And it's just not like, dude, that, oh my God, the opening cutscene is terrible. Like, and I understand.
It's an Old Spice commercial.
Yes, I understand these games are
just an Old
not
Spice.
built, they're not made for like story or anything else. But, and I don't mean to keep just taking a dump on this game, but like,
Well, the other thing is the big emphasis in this game. The reason like people were hyped about it for years was that it was going to be kind of server side computing, which was the idea that a lot of the hardware requirements would be handled on server side. So they would do all the stuff, the physics of things exploding and stuff flying
Right.
everywhere would be done, by the Microsoft
Sounds
servers.
awesome.
It seems like they would be able to do a lot more, right? And you would just get the results. Basically, it'd be better. I didn't see any of that. I didn't see anything that made me go, "Oh, this is a different way to do things. It's a better way." So, I mean, there's just nothing about this game that excites me. If you like it, it's fine. I'm sure it's a decent way to waste a couple hours. But
It seems like maybe it was a game that was pretty far along in its development in 2014, became a different game in 2015, 16, 17, and 18, and by the time you get to 2019, the studio wants this game to come out no matter what state it's in.
I'm sorry, I just misread that. It was supposed to come out in 2016, and then it was pushed back to November 17. And then
I'm sure there's
there were so many different iterations of the game.
and let's
probably.
talk about it. If that game would have come out, like you're saying, Trevor, in 2016 when it was slated for release, you might be having a different conversation.
Yeah,
at
it
this
might have
point
been
right
a
now.
6
You'd be like, oh, yeah.
instead of a 5.
But after they put in 2 or 3 years of DLC, man, it's up to a 7.
Yes.
So.
Sure, why not, man? Why not?
Mediocre at best, according
Yeah.
to IGN.
Well,
I don't think this game deserves any more of our time.
No, it doesn't. And I'll say this. And it was so weird. I was talking to somebody today about it, and I was saying, here's the thing with Crackdown. Like, it's not bad, but it's not good. It's just Crackdown 1. This is DLC for Crackdown 1. And that's sad.
I want Xbox to have some good first party titles
Me
so they
too,
can compete
man.
with Sony because they have not been doing that lately.
No.
Where's our Bloodborne, man? Where's our
God of War?
Yeah,
Where's
where's
your
our God of
Uncharted
War?
series, your Last of Us?
Uncharted, man. Okay.
Absolutely.
Moving on. So another.
But we got Orange Splat or whatever that game's called.
Sunset Overdrive. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Orange Splat.
I couldn't remember what it was
Yeah.
but I knew exactly what
We got soda orange splat.
Dude.
We have spiky hair boy.
We have Halo.
Yes.
We have
Yes,
way
we do.
too many racing games.
Way too many.
I don't know why Horizon has to
way
have
too many Gears
Forza.
of War games.
Yes.
Yeah,
And that's it.
That's it. It's a glowies.
Glowies.
Anyway,
Oh man.
speaking of games and announcements, we had Nintendo Direct this week. Nintendo put out another Nintendo Direct. Lots of little good goodies in there. All right, like
Yeah.
lots of little good goodies.
And
in
I don't
there.
even have a Switch, but I'm like, oh.
Dude, I say it listen, I feel like the Switch is one of the best purchases I've made in the last few years. I really love that system. Now, Nintendo Direct, Mike, give us a rundown. You were kind of leading this up. The Nintendo Direct, exactly kind of what they ran down, what they announced, what to be excited about, and what's just kind of like, another anime game from Nintendo that I'm not going to play.
They announced a lot of stuff. Some of them were kind of like, I don't really care. I think the big ones were the Legend of Zelda remake of
Yes.
Link's Awakening, which was for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
Right.
Okay, they had Mario Maker 2, which a lot of people have been waiting for. They had a new Fire Emblem game, Three Houses,
I don't
which
care.
I like Fire Emblem, but it's
Really?
it's a
I've
little
never
more
played
niche.
Fire Emblem, but it just looks like one of those.
I play Fire Emblem Heroes, the iOS game, all the time.
Really?
Like weirdly, I've been
That's
playing it for
awesome.
like 2 or 3 years.
I always played Roy or Marth when I played Super Smash Bros. Melee. Does that count?
I am
Yeah,
100% sure that's the reason they're making Fire Emblem games in America. That's it. That's the only reason they came over from Japan. So
They're the
Fire-
only guys
it's-
on the roster with swords, so I always picked
just,
them.
just correct me if I'm wrong. Fire Emblem's kind of like a Final Fantasy RPG type
yes.
it's a lot like Final Fantasy Tactics.
game. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So
Okay. So I will say, from my perspective, I know Mike disagrees. I am super excited about this Link's Awakening remake. I thought it looked great. Link's Awakening, that's a game from, if I'm not mistaken, I'll look it up, 91 on the Game Boy. I mean, you're talking about you're talking about, that game is old. I'm going to look it up right now.
I don't think it's quite that old, but it was. I mean, I really liked it. I actually had it on if you had a Game Boy Color, you got one extra dungeon. It was a color-based dungeon. I know. very
Original
fancy.
Game Boy release 93,
Yeah.
June
93.
6, 93.
So,
yeah. The Link to the Past was 91. That's what I was thinking.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fun game. I grew up playing it. I really liked it. I liked all the Game Boy ones. I had the Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages. I had all of them.
Nice.
But I already have this game, and the fact that it looks nicer and it's in all cell shaded and it's cartoony.
Right.
It's still another game, and I would be willing to bet $1 million that it's gonna be $60.
Yeah.
That is
Nintendo.
Yeah,
Would
Nintendo's
you be
not
willing to bet $60 on it?
Yeah. I'd be willing to bet the purchase of this game that it's $60. Yeah.
I will say, when I saw that cutscene on the announcement, I was like, just please give us an anime. Like, just please give us a Legend of Zelda anime.
Have you ever read the comics, the Zelda comics?
No.
They're
No,
actually
I
kind
haven't.
of interesting. I mean,
Really?
they released way back in the day. Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch the animated Zelda show that used to be a part of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show? Have you guys ever
What?
seen
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. What?
You guys have never seen the Super Mario Brothers Super Show? Oh my God!
I'm sorry.
It's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Sorry, guys. We're gonna have to cut this episode a little short this week because we got to go
Pull up
watch
the
whatever
YouTube.
this was.
Super Mario Brothers Super Show is this and because we only have 3 guys here, I might pull this up and just play it over the podcast. Super Mario Brothers Super Show is this show that it was a wrestler who actually played Mario. He was a famous WWF wrestler. WWF at the time, maybe not even then. I don't know what. But Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Showing your age a little bit.
Oh,
there.
dude, I'm gonna play the
Oh,
intro.
this looks.
What?
I'm gonna play the
Just-
intro on blast.
All
if I
right, here.
can.
This podcast
Hang on.
episode is now turned
Here
into
we
a
go,
reaction
here we go, here we
video.
go.
Mario Brothers Super Show. With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game.
Oh,
What?
No.
Oh, get it.
Music is in trouble. You can call us on the double. We're faster than the others. You'll be hooked on the brothers.
Dude, do yourself a favor and go watch the intro to Super Mario the Super Show on YouTube. Dude, so it was half cartoon. It was half cartoon, half live action. So it started out live action in the beginning with this guy was a wrestler who played Mario, and Luigi, I have no idea who the heck he was.
I'm going to have the weirdest dreams.
Okay, it's
tonight.
on Netflix. It was on Netflix at one time. So basically, it was like half cartoon. So they start out the episode, and it was like these guys, and it's like, oh, we're Mario and Luigi, and they have these funny little
And they have like a freestyle rap, you know?
Well, no, this is the only
course.
time it raps. But it was like this funny little situations they would find themselves in. But then they'd go and they'd
Well,
they're not gonna show it right here.
You
but-
would know all about this.
Bro,
Well,
I had
this
I had
looks.
I had the videotapes when I was a kid, man. I used to love
This
that
looks
show.
terrible.
I mean,
Awful.
it's like
Just awful.
Trash.
I mean, it is now. You know what I'm saying? But it was really good back then. But anyway,
I wish you guys could just see their big old fat bodies just gyrating around on the screen
But
doing the
here's-
freestyle rap.
But here's the deal. Hang on.
So excited to show us that, man, and that was so bad.
Hang on. But here's the deal. Here's the deal, you smart Alex, before you get any further, is that
Super Mario Bros. in around TV.
My name is Mario, and I'm here to say.
First of all, it's Super Mario Brothers. We're running the game. We're not like the others who get all the things. You got Koopas.
You really know the whole thing.
Dude, I know it, bro. You used to have the video
Oh my
Man.
word! This is
Okay,
amazing.
and I'm a terrible rapper, but the point is that every Friday they'd have a Legend of Zelda episode, and they'd have a cartoon Legend of Zelda, and it's like Link was like very like kind of like 90s teenage like smart aleck. He's
yeah.
like, and Zelda was very also kind of like smart alecky kind of thing. I think I've said smart like 3 times in the past 5 minutes.
Was anybody else smart alecky, or was it just those two?
But the point is like, if I'm not mistaken, like Ganon talk like this. Like it was a very weird like
no.
Ganon kind of voice. And then the thing is like every time Zelda would like be like, she's like real snooty to Link. It was like she was like, you could tell Link had a crush on her.
Uh-oh.
She was real snooty.
Zelda, but this time with attitude.
Link was always like, well, excuse me, princess. Like that was his like,
Oh, I've seen
I gotta
it.
find it. I gotta
Bro,
find it. I gotta find
what
it.
are we even talking about?
I gotta find it.
Oh my!
This is just really spiraling out of control.
I gotta find it. Hang on. Link, excuse me,
man.
princess. Okay, now you guys continue.
This is
your
the
talk.
kind of content that you guys have come to expect from this show.
Yeah, here we go.
Discussions
Here we go.
about
Ready?
videos that
Here
you
we go.
can't see.
Here we go. Here comes.
Excuse me, princess. Well, excuse me, princess.
What is this knockoff?
Me, princess.
Knockoff Disney
Why does this-
princess.
He's got. Oh my gosh. Okay, listen.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. That this was the 90s. Okay.
Why does he look like a ripoff of Ryu from Ronin Warriors from Toonami?
and
2000.
Zelda
I'm
definitely
telling
is a knockoff, like Princess Aurora or something.
It was
100%.
great. It was great. Oh, Voltron. It was great,
Mm.
but you need to go back and watch it. Anyway, back to the point. Link's Awakening got announced, and moving right along. Also, I was excited about Mario Maker 2.
Me too. I never played the first
Me
one.
neither. So pumped about that.
Awesome idea for a game.
It really is, and it looks like they've added a bunch of more stuff. Like, it really seems like you can do pretty much anything you can imagine, which is the dream. So
Yeah, I'm so excited about that, especially with Nintendo Online. To play other people's levels that they've made is going to be so cool. Because if I'm not mistaken, you could traverse like Mario 1, 2, and 3 in the first one. Is that kind of how it was, or was it just Mario 1?
nope, Mario 1, 2, and 3, and the new Super Mario Bros.
Oh no
Yeah.
way! Oh, I'm so excited. So excited. So pumped. That's a $60 game.
I mean, it
Nintendo.
is, because we knock Nintendo a lot for re-releasing kind of the same game. And the 2D new Super Mario Bros, they've had like 13 of them in the last decade.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I've played enough of those. This is an improvement. This is a next step
Yes.
in the series, or in that whole idea, which I really love.
This is worth my money. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's also
Absolutely.
something that actually I feel like makes their online service viable.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and it doesn't matter that they have terrible lag.
I was going to say if they even do that. Are they doing that?
Oh, yeah,
Of
yes.
course. I mean,
Okay.
They did
you
it on
have
the
to
first
be able
one.
to make maps for your friends online to
Yeah.
come and play. Like,
They
that's-
did it on the
that's gotta be
first
whole
one, and you
thing.
can look through like the most starred
okay.
or stuff. You
Oh,
can
okay,
search,
yeah.
So
I'm
I mean,
excited.
it's a
I'm
big
pumped.
thing if you've seen it on YouTube. I mean, a lot of like
I love
Let's
it.
Play guys do that. So yeah, I'm excited. There's a lot of
We will definitely be
stuff.
doing some Let's Play videos.
By the
to
way,
that.
just out of respect for Toonami, quick correction: it's Ryo, not Ryu. That's the Red Ranger character in Ronin Warriors. So,
so glad we cleared that up.
just want to make
Thanks.
sure for all of our Ronin
I
Warriors
know there
fans
was
out
somebody
there.
listening to this who's like,
Voice-
that's not the name of the Ronin Voice.
I was just thinking, man.
My
this
little
podcast
brother's
is
like,
go-
it's Ryo.
this
Right.
podcast is going well. What could grind it to a halt?
Yes, if we definitely pronounce the Ronin Warrior's name wrong.
Voiced
all-
brilliantly by Takeshi Kusao.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, moving right along.
Yeah, I mean those two were the big ones, I think. And they also had a Fire Emblem game that was announced.
New. I'm not sure if you play this series, Mike, but I know it's a really beloved series in the Nintendo world, and that's the Dragon Quest games. There's a new full
Yes.
Dragon Quest title coming out.
Dude, I
RPG.
tried a couple of them for the Super Nintendo, but I just didn't really Didn't play too many.
It's
of
the
them,
one that's basically a Final Fantasy RPG, but all the characters look like Dragon Ball Z characters.
Just give me a Star Fox game, and then I'll be happy.
Yeah, there needs to be a Star Fox game.
Oh, man.
But it is nice. Nintendo's got a lot of different games,
Yeah.
which is one of the reasons that they've been so successful. Is they have a lot
man.
of first-party titles.
They do.
So
Yeah.
I'm
By
excited.
far, my favorite announcement from Nintendo Direct was the Tetris Battle Royale.
Finally,
God.
Finally, what the
Good
people have been
God.
asking for so
for
long.
so
Tetris 99, where you battle 98 other players for Tetris dominance.
hey man, I'm noticing on this YouTube video for the Zelda. Could we watch this 10 Dark Secrets hidden in Hotel Transylvania 3?
No, we cannot.
in suggested videos.
10
No.
Dark Secrets.
I would like to watch Dexter's Laboratory. What went wrong?
Oh,
That's what I love Dexter's Lab.
Dark secret behind Dexter's lab.
Notice this Excuse Me Princess has 4.4 million views. I just want to point that out.
That's sad.
Okay, moving right along. Speaking of things that were announced that we're excited about, Trevor is about to burst with excitement over here.
Man.
The Lord of the Rings Amazon Prime series. They tweeted a picture, and you would have thought that the whole world came to a standstill.
It was a map. I'm the map. I'm the map.
I'm the map, and everyone is crying, and all the Lord of the Rings fans are.
I don't even know what the tweet was about. Like the three rings. Of
Oh,
the
you don't know what the
elves.
tweet was about? I'll tell you. Well, don't worry, man.
God.
I
No,
got you.
Trev, what you need to do is tell me what the series is going to be about. Sell me on it, because I have not really followed it.
I have literally leaning back in my chair away from a microphone because I have nothing to say. So Trevor, it's all you.
All right, let's talk.
Can we keep this to like a cool 2 hours? Would it be nice?
Yeah. So this is going to be a separate episode. We're just going to take this whole segment, put in another percent. No, seriously. So this was announced, I think, early last year that they were like thinking about doing this, or the news started to come out about all the money that was being put on the table to basically buy the rights to make a show about the Lord of the Rings. And so the last Hobbit film, the extended edition, all that stuff came out several years ago now. The Lord of the Rings Tolkien like entertainment trail's gone a little bit cold. There was the Shadow of Mordor game, the Shadow of War game, which you're playing right now, Will.
Just finished it. Crazy ending. We'll talk after the podcast.
We haven't talked about the ending
We'll
yet.
talk after the
Awesome. And Mike, you played did you finish with Shadow of War?
Yes, I did not finish Shadow of Mordor.
Oh,
but
that's
I
right,
did. I
that's
played
right.
all through Shadow of War and got to the the second epilogue or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
No spoilers because that's an excellent ending. Just
Such a good ending.
We're
to
going
that
to talk
game.
about it afterwards.
Yeah, awesome. So all that to say, like I think people, we were mentioning this earlier, Mike, is that something that sort of is a testament to how amazing the Lord of the Rings IP is that it's just been around so long and people eat it up. Like anything that comes out. Did you guys remember playing Lord of the Rings Conquest? Like that game was actual like hot garbage, but it was just so fun to go around and play. Like I'm a Gondorian soldier with my fire sword, and there was like nothing lore consistent about it. Did you ever play this game?
No.
Excellent
awesome.
input. Excellent input.
Yeah.
I do remember the
Thank you.
Two Towers and Return of the King game.
Amazing.
Which were fire.
I remember War in the North. I remember
Oh,
that
dude,
game.
come on.
I did.
Little quick high five on that one.
Yeah, dude.
Shout out Andrew
Not
Cunningham.
all the glens is gold, but
I've beaten
this is.
I've beaten that game 21 times, and that's not a joke.
Oh, it's a Dunedain cash.
Yeah, a Dunedain cash.
We're laughing because in the game, did you play War of the North with us
No.
at all? Okay, War of
Dude,
the North.
such a shame. Such
War
a
of the
good
North
game.
is a fun game. It's a very fun game. But
Baldur's Gate.
But you're
the
got
creators
you.
of Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I've seen it. I just haven't
co-op
played it.
like linear RPG.
Your characters literally say the same thing every time they come across like a hidden
like something that only they can see because
Right.
they're a dwarf.
So I was the
Like,
I was the
it's
ranger,
awesome.
and so every time he was like, "Oh, it's a Dunedain cache," and then like
The dwarf's like, not all that glitters is gold, but this is.
every
It's bad,
single
Bro,
It's
that
really bad.
that is awful.
And the girl playing Andriel is always like Elbereth Gathoniel, like just speaking lines in Elvish that are just awful. Anyway, great game, love that game. Shout out Snowblind Studios, which is no longer. I don't think a studio.
If you don't tell me what this Amazon show is, I'm gonna be upset.
You knew this was going to happen. So they announced that there was like basically a bidding war between all these major companies, but of who was going to basically buy the rights to this game. It got so out of hand that HBO and Netflix backed out because there was too much money on the table.
And Netflix will give anybody a show. They buy everything on Netflix,
and Netflix
now.
I mean, they buy shows almost as often as they cancel them. Speaking
Right.
of Jessica Jones.
Oh, too soon.
He found a way to work it in.
Too soon,
That's
Jessica
slide
Jones.
dog.
Too soon, Punisher. Oh, so sad.
Quick note: Punisher and Jessica Jones were canceled.
I snuck that one, and you didn't even think about it.
Oh, when
you
it's
didn't
hot
even,
news. Way to go,
good.
Mike.
You didn't even
good.
notice. You were like, when
That
is this
was
going to
good.
come up? We don't have a spot for it.
Such a good-
I made a spot.
Just did.
Such a good transition, right, Will?
Mike just kicked that door in. He just got canceled.
So there was literally over $1 billion spent on this IP. That's billion with a B.
Man, Yahoo is about to be worth even less.
Yahoo's like, we don't even have
You ever
million. I don't-
you ever seen that like graphic that shows like when Yahoo had a chance to buy Netflix
Yes.
or when it had a chance to sell? This is going to be the next one where it's like they spent $1 billion and made $100 million. It's like
Right, and
oh,
you know,
okay.
$1 billion is the founder of Amazon's fast cash setting at the ATM. It's not it's chump change for him, but that's a lot of money for someone to spend just
Bezos, I
right, just for the opportunity to make a show.
Sorry, this is Amazon.
This is Amazon.
Why the heck did I say Yahoo?
It's okay.
I don't know, but I was going
I
with
was
it.
rolling with it. I was rolling with it,
It's
dude.
great.
All right,
Yahoo is trash. Let's all
fix
agree.
it in post.
Yeah, Yahoo is garbage. Yahoo is garbage.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Thing sucks.
What does this mean to play us out? What does that? What does this
What
mean?
does that mean? So anyway, just to catch us up after that, I thought that was crazy news. They were coming out. I'm really excited about the amount of money that's being spent on this, obviously, because this is sort of, I feel like Amazon Prime on videos. Sort of answer to a Game of Thrones, and that's what everybody was saying is they're trying to compete with like a Game of Thrones, which by the way, the last season's coming out this year,
Yes.
super
Which
super
is
excited
great.
for that.
I know what it is. Sorry, the reason I said Yahoo is because Yahoo I think purchased the rights to the Wheel of Time series.
That's right.
Which is
That's
one of my
right.
favorites. I don't
The
know.
Salvatore, is it R.A. Salvatore?
No, that's Robert Jordan.
That's Robert Jordan.
Yeah.
That's right.
And,
that's right.
and Sanderson. Who
Oh
finished
yeah,
it 'cause-
H.P. Lovecraft.
Shut up! How dare you? So,
How dare you?
that's one of my favorite series.
Yeah,
I know,
you and Matt both love that series.
yeah,
That's right.
It's a little long. It's a little wordy.
Isn't it up to like 13 or 14
I think
books?
it's 14.
Yeah.
And there's about 6 of them that probably didn't need to be written. in the
Sure,
middle.
sure, absolutely.
About
Well, because the
books-
original author, didn't he pass away like
He
right
did.
before
And
10 or 11?
And unlike George R.R. Martin, he left enough notes for it to be finished.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know Game of Thrones ain't gonna be finished.
Oh,
Sorry,
of course
Ever.
not.
No,
when,
it's
when,
not.
when old George dies in a cheeseburger coma, we're not going to be able to finish those books at all.
Say it. Come on.
Little shout out to speedrunners.
Well,
Big old burger boy,
Yeah,
man.
when
That's
he-
your favorite character.
when he passes out in a cheeseburger coma, we're not going to have those
Yeah.
books finished.
So anyway, it was announced sort of middle of last year, late last year, that they were probably, and this isn't a definite, but they were probably going to base this show off of a young Aragorn. So if you guys don't know, Aragorn played by Viggo Mortensen in the films. He's
Yes.
the guy that is basically he's a ranger from
he's
the
the
north.
real he's the real hero.
yeah,
of the story.
he's a Dunedain
because
ranger.
because Frodo's a punk and is a
in the
terrible.
movies, he's the real
I
hero.
think
right?
Sam is the real hero.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
Sam
gotta
is
love
the man.
Samwise
Sam's a
Gamgee.
champ.
Sean
I
Astin.
watched all the extended editions recently. Frodo was a terrible character in the movie, and you don't realize that I guess until
He
you
punks out.
He's worse in the movies. The books, he's
in
much
the books, he's much
better.
more of a hero. Yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
great because
They go over to the struggle with the ring.
that's
a lot
great
more,
because he's
yeah,
terrible in the movies.
He doesn't say, "I'll see you later, Sam. I'm going to hang out with Gollum."
yeah, that never happens, which is super weird that they added that in the movie.
I'm going to crumble some lembas bread.
So
What a weird, like,
don't send me away.
stupid
And then
fat.
and then he just gets to the bottom of the stairs and sees
wha-
the bread and
And,
goes back
dude,
up. That's
I was watching that and I was like, if I saw that bread, I'd be like, forget you, Frodo. I'm gone, dude.
Get you.
He sees the bread. He's like, I knew I didn't sleep eat that bread. I'm not that.
I knew I didn't sleep eat all that lemnus bread.
Up until that point, he was like, did I? Did I eat that?
hurts nasty elf bread.
Did I drink too much Hobbit ale and eat all the lemnus bread last
I
night?
was making that potato soup, and I just got a little crazy.
Yeah, man.
Potato. So anyway, he's a Dunedain ranger. He is actually his parents are spoiler alert for the Silmarillion / the stuff that comes after the books in the appendices. If you're ever going to read that, sorry. Here comes the sigh.
I
Here comes the sigh.
Silmarillion has got to be one of the most boring things I've ever
Okay,
tried
moving
to
on. So, Aragorn's dad is killed in the Troll Shaws. He's a long descendant of the kings of Numenor, which means he's the heir to the throne of Gondor.
Isildur's heir.
I'm about to say,
Right?
I thought he was Isildur's heir.
He is.
That was one of them.
Yeah. So he's Elendil, Isildur. He's in that line of kings that was supposedly broken. He comes back, and of course, in the Return of the King, we know what happens. The movies came out a long time ago. So basically, that's the character of Aragorn. He's raised. Just a couple, lore tidbits for people who might be interested. Like, why in the world are they making a show about young Aragorn? What's even there to explore?
Because it works so well with Han Solo.
Yeah, true. Right. Exactly. It worked really, really well. I actually really liked that movie. It was entertaining. But no, so there's a few things that you can explore. He sort of lived his life as a Dunedain Ranger in the north. There's a lot of things that you can explore, parts of the map, the Middle Earth map that weren't explored in this show that you can kind of dive into. There are other, obviously, Rangers of the North, different characters that were introduced in the trilogy books that weren't introduced in the trilogy movies. There's actually Rangers, Dunedain Rangers at the battles, all like the major battles in the books that are never introduced in the movies.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and so he's also raised in Rivendell because his parents, passed away by Elrond and the Sons of Elrond, and that's what he grew up with Arwen.
That's when he was laying some roots, man. He was
That's how he
Yeah.
got
putting the seeds down.
That's right.
That's how he got that elf girlfriend.
That's right. That's
Hey,
exactly
you're
right.
you're already an adult, and you're going to be an adult long after I'm dead. But
But I need you.
it's a very Anakin and Padme situation, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Are you an angel?
Cheska Sabulba. Anyway,
No one can kill a Jedi.
Good God.
Oh man. So anyway,
Hey, I noticed that you were able to get me out of slavery. How about get my mom out of slavery anytime in the next 10 years, maybe?
Nope.
Sorry, I got another topic in the works, apparently.
Nope. She getting whipped by sand people.
and this is just
You
another.
didn't think to call her at all in the last I'm just too busy killing people with lightsabers to even worry about my mom who's a slave.
Sorry, Mom. Yeah.
Maybe,
Well, it's not. Yeah,
maybe if you hadn't lied about my dad, there was no father. Come on now. We all know what happened.
you have a lot of feelings about this.
Down at the cantina. Friday night,
How
you
I
had,
feel about-
you had a little too much blue milk.
hey.
Things happen.
Twist, man. It was that guy that got his arm cut off. He was just trying to reach out to Luke, man.
Plot
like,
twist. It's one of the Knights of Ren.
He's like, oh, my grandson. Oh, my arm's gone.
Oh,
I'm
man.
sorry, what
That
were we
is
talking about?
Got out of
Moving
hand.
on.
So, how I feel about Second Age lore in Lord of the Rings is how Mike feels about Anakin's backstory.
Oh, God.
It was horrible.
This is the worst.
That doesn't
podcast
sound
we've
like
done.
you for Lord of the Rings.
No, you just know a lot about it, man. You just know a lot.
I don't.
you
But
have a lot of
I do
feelings
hate
about
a lot of things. So we have to be done with this Lord of the Rings.
Can you wrap up this Lord of the Rings thing so we can
I'm
move
so
on?
tired of hearing.
We're at 57 minutes. We're at 57 minutes in this podcast, and we still got to talk about Avengers.
It's not that important. So anyway, I'm excited to see what they do with it. They the account, the Twitter account, released its first 3 tweets this week, and it's just it's only.
Sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm excited for that too, man.
No, man. I
First
bet.
3 tweets.
I bet. Yeah, that's all right. Keep laughing.
So it's a.
Keep laughing.
Okay, well,
Because me and almost 10,000 other people who like this post are really excited.
So it's about
it,
young
Mike.
Aragorn.
Yes, so it's about young Aragorn, probably, and that hasn't been confirmed, but it's probably what it's about. They've tweeted a couple pictures of maps. People are already speculating, even though there's literally no information about it, all in the comments, and it's a lot of fun to see.
I
So
will.
I'm excited for it.
watch anything The Lord of the Rings comes out until
Oh,
they
of
have
course.
something that's actually bad, which I like the Hobbits.
Hey,
they
me
weren't
too.
as good as the originals.
Absolutely.
They did take a lot of liberties, but I thought they were really fun.
I liked them. I thought they were good.
So I mean, that's a franchise that has proven itself. So of course,
Absolutely.
if you like anything nerd, you're gonna look forward to this kind of thing coming out.
Absolutely. Anytime you're spending $1 billion on a TV show and it's got Lord of the Rings on it, I'm excited about it. So
True. So excited about Lord of the Rings coming out. Amazon Prime. Is there a release date yet? Is it
Nope.
2020 or
Nope. Yeah, it's coming soon. So
coming soon? Cool.
We'll see.
So to wrap it up, I actually had one of our listeners message me and on Instagram, which by the way you can follow us at 4 PLOT plot on Instagram. As Mike says, you can also smash that subscribe button, ring that bell.
Check out our Zanga blog.
Check out our Zanga blog. But John Gill, I believe he's at John A. Gill on Instagram. I need to go check that and make sure. He reached out to us and said, why don't you guys do Avengers Endgame theories? To which I said, yes, let's do that. So, as you know, spoiler alert. Right now, this is a real spoiler. If for some reason you have not seen
10, 15
Infinity War yet, now is the time to cut this podcast off, or at least speak. No, you can just cut it off because this is the only thing we're going to talk about to the end.
It's on Netflix.
It's
no
on
excuse.
Netflix, so
No
cut
excuses.
it off right now. Okay, they're gone. Here's the deal. As we all know, at the end of Avengers Infinity War, Thanos snapped the fingers. People start to disappear into dust.
Thor couldn't have thrown his big axe at his head.
At his head, had to go for the shoulder, whatever. The point is that he snaps the fingers. Everybody's gone, okay? Interestingly enough, little fun fact as we talk about in-game theories, the only people left are the original Avengers, right? When you look back and see who's all left, everybody else is gone. But the original Avengers that were in Avengers 1, they're still there. They're the only ones left, I think.
I think there might be a couple. Maybe we should check that because I do think I thought Scarlet Witch was still there.
But she's the original Avenger.
Oh, okay.
No, Scarlet Witch. Okay, no,
Scarlet Witch is definitely still left over.
not Scarlett Johansson, which is what I was confusing.
Little
that for.
confusing. They're
Scarlet.
both redheads, except for
Now she's blonde.
now she's blonde, which is super weird.
That felt very unusual.
Yeah,
but it's fine.
very strange choice.
Dude, I will jump right in. Talk about some theories, man.
Go for it.
First of all, that spot they had in the Super Bowl, super epic.
Really awesome.
Here's who's left. So who's left? Avengers and otherwise to carry on the battle in Avengers 4. Let's break it down. Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hulk, or at least Bruce Banner, because Hulk's been he got beat up by Thanos and he hadn't come out yet. War Machine, Rocket Raccoon. Okay, who?
That's the woman. The bald woman.
What?
No, King T'Challa's personal guard.
And Nebula. Nebula is who's Nebula?
Nebula is Thanos' daughter.
The blue one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
the
Gotcha.
Cyborg, yeah.
Okay, so that's who's left so far. Are there any original Avengers who were not there? I don't think so. No,
that's all of them.
That's
right on. So
okay, cool. So
also, by the way, Loki is actually full on dead.
Yeah, Loki's dead.
Yeah,
Loki's
the show the directors came
they
out.
Had
and
to
said,
guarantee that they'd come up with some other villains besides.
Yes,
right.
Loki,
Besides Loki and all of them.
dead. Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead, Mike. Give us your Avengers Endgame theories.
Here was my thought. Okay, so they've been building up the fact that Bruce Banner was not in the last one. Like him and Hulk was not in the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk and Bruce Banner are having this issue. Hulk's one of the most powerful characters outside of Scarlet Witch, I think he would be the most powerful out of that group.
Agreed.
At least based on the comics. And obviously there's a bunch of different runs and everything, but I would think that it would be cool if the Hulk is the one that actually brings people back, maybe with an Infinity Gauntlet. I don't know if he'd have the power to wield that, but there aren't that many people that can do that, and I think maybe the Hulk could be one of them. I don't know if they're going to go that way,
really
where it's a
interesting.
gauntlet. That would be a little contrived, I guess.
I got
But
you.
I think that would be kind of cool, and I definitely think Iron Man and Captain America are both going to die.
Me too.
I agree.
One of them
I agree
has
with
to.
that.
I guarantee you that one of them is going to die, and I'm pretty sure that both of them. Because especially Captain America, because I don't think Chris Evans wants to do these anymore. He's young enough that he could probably do another movie besides a Captain America.
I have to say, I even felt like just watching his performance in Infinity War, he just looks tired. I really do have to say, he's a great actor, but I felt like I was watching a guy who was playing a character.
He's kind of phoning it in. You think?
Phoning it in a little bit.
Or his character is not developed at all. Honestly, it's been very much the same for a while.
Right,
so.
but it's Tony Stark, Iron Man, you felt the entire time he's in it. He's super
I'm pretty sure that's
invested.
just Robert Downey Jr.
No, it is.
I
mean,
would hate to see Iron Man go away because I feel like Iron Man's hitting his peak right now. I feel like Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, Iron Man. I feel like they are he's a big driver right now. Dude, his relationship with Peter Parker and Spider-Man, it's such a driving force. It would surprise me. And I would not really care, sad to say, if Chris Evans was gone at this point. I feel like Bucky Barnes could step in and be a great
Captain America.
Captain America, he was. I feel like, and I really like that actor who plays Bucky. I feel like he could step in and be a great Captain America.
Whenever his hair is clean, he looks really lame.
Yeah, but his hair's long hair.
When it's greasy and that is a good look. But then when he's down in the
I like him. Yeah, I like him
better.
He's
got his L'Oreal Fidel Sassoon hairstyle. You're no, I don't.
I liked him a lot better when he had the face mask when he was a villain in Winter Soldier.
God, Winter Soldier's
so
a great
cool,
movie. movie.
It was.
But I would really be sad to see Tony Stark leave just because of his relationship to Spider-Man. Because the new Spider-Man movies are so good. Like I
haven't seen Homecoming.
Oh, it's
I didn't
so
watch
good.
Is it really good?
It's very good.
It's the best Spider-Man movie.
It's the
Yeah.
It's the only one I haven't seen out of all the Avengers.
It's
or the
very good.
Marvel movies. So
you think Hulk plays an integral part in all this?
I do. I think that. Well, I mean, he's not the most interesting character in the movies, but he has a ton of potential.
Yeah.
And they really humanized the Hulk as
Yes.
much as you can in Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
And then he was gone, and him and Bruce like kind of have their back
Right.
and forth. That's a great. I mean, heck, if you watch, if you read any of the comics, I'm trying to think of the one I'm thinking of where. It's the end of the world. Everybody's gone but the Hulk, and the Hulk will not transform back to Bruce Banner to let him die. So it's like there's a lot of depth to that relationship.
Yeah.
I'll look up what it is while you guys.
Dude, that's
figure it out.
really interesting.
Like there's so much cool stuff. I mean, you have like World War Hulk where he comes back and kills everyone because he's mad because. There's a lot.
The
of
Hulk is such an interesting character anyway,
Yes.
just based on the
Red
fact that
Hulk.
like
Yes, there is.
She-Hulk.
He's got a son named. I can't remember.
Little Hulk,
Lil Hulk. Who's dropping a fire mixtape
Yeah.
later this year.
Hulky Jr.
Yeah, Lil
Okay,
Hulk.
what's your theories?
I don't give a crap about this franchise.
Okay, cool. Moving on. All right. So
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't care
Really?
at all. Yeah,
How long have you felt that way?
always.
Wow.
Avengers.
Yeah,
You don't like.
superhero movies just don't do it for me.
Oh
man.
my God, we'll pray for you.
Yeah,
all right.
that's all right. Go for it.
Okay,
No,
so-
genuinely, I really, really liked Black Panther. So I was really, really sad to see King T'Challa go. Black Panther is definitely my favorite, like Avengers.
Oh, you mean he got
MCU?
Oh, you mean he got snapped? What you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Like Black Panther is my favorite MCU movie, definitely by far. Maybe a close second would be the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Black Panther is, I mean, even
It's good.
recognized by the Academy. You know, it's the first MCU movie that was nominated for Best Picture.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know it was nominated for Best Picture.
It was.
That shows
It
how I
is.
look
Yeah,
playing
it
right
is.
now.
So, I definitely am a little bit invested in King T'Challa's story. I think that, I mean, I hate to be this guy, but I think that Doctor Strange is going to figure out a way to turn back time and bring everybody back. That's exactly what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that it could be disappointing. I mean, it's.
I think it will be. I think it'll be disappointing, and it'll be people see it coming from a mile away.
I do think that this will be the last big one. I just think that
agree.
the bubble's popping. People are holding on. I mean, I think people are going to watch Captain Marvel because Endgame is coming out and they want to know.
Right.
I just think we're getting to the end. Like it's saturated at this point.
Yeah,
So
okay. Yeah,
I
I
will
agree.
say Hulk's son is Scar, and Hulk.
Oh, cool name.
Scar, yes, alien, whatever. And Hulk, the end, is the one I was talking about, where he's like wandering the world at the end of times.
I need to
Everybody's
read
gone.
that.
It's just
that
yeah.
sounds really
I mean,
good.
that's the beauty of comics, where you just have these weird situations.
So much depth, yeah.
The movies, I don't think, capture that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not really supposed to, but
Right.
that's the reason it's gotten stale.
It's hard to sell that. It's hard to sell,
It is.
And at
All right.
the end, yeah.
All right, cropping the knuckles here. Going to lay down a couple facts on you boys, okay? Here's number one, okay? First of all, in the trailers we've seen Ant-Man, okay, he's not snapped, okay?
Yeah, he's shrunk. He's stuck in subatomic at the end of Ant-Man or Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I did not watch that.
At the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, he goes subatomic to collect the magical MacGuffin that they need to heal whatever.
Magical
but
MacGuffin.
Once he shrinks down, they can't bring him back because all of the Wasp and the Hank Pym, they're snapped and they're gone. So he's stuck subatomic. So they haven't.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Okay, I need to
interesting.
go
haven't
watch
seen
that because I haven't
movie.
seen that.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a good movie. Yeah.
Okay, so we have Ant-Man who's alive. Okay, Captain Marvel's obviously in this. Okay, like you've seen shots. They've done these things on YouTube where there's like an empty spot. So they think that's probably where Captain Marvel is standing for most of. Like there's scenes where they're walking to the airport in the trailer and where they're standing where there's like a too large of a gap between War Machine and the other people. And there's obviously they've cropped somebody out
Well,
of those
they've
shots.
hyped it up. It's clear with
Right.
Nick Fury with his little thing where he
Captain Marvel
calls her.
is going to be a part of it in some weird way. You've also got to think about, well, Doctor Strange said, he looks at Tony Stark and he says this was the only way was for everybody to get snapped.
The only outcome,
because
yep.
he saw all these outcomes. He could see all, and he couldn't see past his own demise. So you know that either A, that was his demise and now he can see past it, or B, like that wasn't his demise and he knows it. Like, because that in the Doctor Strange movie, like she goes, hey, the one who taught him, the ladies, is like, hey, I can't see past my own death. Like I can't see past it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is really interesting.
And then the most interesting thing that I want to know is Thanos dead? Okay, because the thing is like
It's sort of like walk off into the sunset.
well,
and does he die of his wounds?
He's sitting
Yeah.
there. He goes, "You should have gone for the head, or whatever he says, or whatever he tells Thor." But then he like sits down. He's obviously seriously wounded by this giant axe that has gone
And then he teleports out. Yeah.
that has gone into like his heart region, right?
Right.
And then he sits down, and you don't see any Thanos in these trailers for Endgame. Like there's I haven't seen Thanos yet. Okay, so
the last you see of him, because he teleports out,
right,
and he's like on a different planet. Looks like by himself.
well, you've got Tony Stark in the Endgame thing, who's sitting there in a spaceship telling whatever Miss Pepper bye or whatever. Like, so as far as like a theory goes for how the end happens, like I feel like it's going to be something where the original Avengers. Maybe it is the Hulk, but I've never even thought about that. That's a great way to put it. I mean, the original Avengers are going to have to do
hunting down the Infinity Gauntlet.
I don't know. I think Thanos is going to be. I think they have to have their big.
Well,
epic
Thanos
battle.
has to be. There has to be a big battle with Thanos. I mean, he's probably alive, but it's weird that they've not shown any of that at all in the promo material.
I hope it surprises us because it seems like they're playing things close to the vest.
Oh
which,
yeah, you don't know anything about this movie,
which hopefully means that they'll do something unexpected.
and it comes out in like 2 months. Comes out in April. So I mean, there's like. You know, Captain Marvel may shed some light on some stuff for us. Captain Marvel's that little in-between movie that nobody knows what's going to happen.
I'll watch it because it's got Jude Law in it. Jude Law's awesome.
God, you're so negative. So about the MCU
I'm the negative
franchise.
one, man.
But no, you're not. But the thing is, anyway, to wrap it all up, I feel like yes, it's gonna require a sacrifice from Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. from Captain America or Tony Stark. It's gonna require some sort of sacrifice that they're gonna sacrifice themselves to save everybody else. And that's how they go. Because I feel like them getting like just owned in a battle and like Thanos crushing their neck like Loki, that's just not a suitable ending for characters that people love so much. It's going to be some sort of self-sacrificial like...
The people have grown to love over years
Right.
of these movies coming out.
If they do kill both of them, it'll be some sort of self-sacrificial like, hey, we had our differences, we come together, we're going to stand here and stop this giant whatever, and everybody else gets to escape.
I mean, Captain America and Iron Man still don't like each other. They never even spoke after they found out that Bucky killed his parent, killed Iron Man's parents. So they're gonna have that big reconciliation, which is, I don't know. Yeah. I do worry that it'd be a letdown. I just don't know how it can, hit that point that it has to be the fitting end to 30 movies over the past decade.
Right.
You know,
I saw a fantastic meme. Where it's the scene in the Return of the King where Aragorn is basically telling the King of the Dead that the King of Dunharrow that like their part has been fulfilled and they can finally like rest at peace. And it said something about this is the MCU telling Chris Evans that he doesn't have to make any more Avengers movies.
Yeah, exactly.
He's probably just tired of having
fulfilled your oath and you can be released.
He's probably tired of having to be in that good a shape all the time. Good Lord.
Good jeez. Anyway. Well, guys, that's all the time we got for the 4 Block Podcast. We're actually 12 minutes over this week, which has never happened.
We'll trim some of the fat.
So,
you're welcome, everybody. It's because I had to get my jokes in.
We'll fix it in post, as Mike says.
Fix it in post.
That's all the time we got. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Zanga blog. Whatever.
Yeah, man.
I love that Mike says
Get
that.
us on YouTube for sure.
Yeah, YouTube for sure.
We got some reviews up there.
Yeah, man. Reviews are coming out. Content's coming out. So make sure you check out the YouTube channel for sure. 4 Plot. I am Will.
I'm Trevor.
I'm Mike.
And we will see you guys next week for another 4 Plot. But right now, we're going to go talk about the end of Shadow of War immediately when this podcast is. Let's talk about it. We'll see you guys next week.